Hello, hello. So, for those that don't know me, I am Claire. I'm a multi-business owner and I am the founder of the Good Vibes Collective. I've been in network marketing and community and team building now for 20 years, and a few of my other areas are mentioned on this slide as well. So, this week has been super exciting for me in my business. Not only is it my 20-year anniversary this week, in the industry, but I have launched a brand new website as well and a free ebook. So if you haven't already checked it out, it is called Mastering Your Mindset and Unlocking Your Confidence. If you haven't seen it, then check my profile on Facebook for the download link, and I will also put it in the description on the YouTube channel as well. So go and have a look at that. So today's session is something that every one of us can relate to, really. It's about mastering the balancing act, and life can feel a lot like you're juggling all the time. So you've got family, business, work, your health, friendships, self-care. There's a lot going on, and it's sometimes, no matter how much we plan things, it feels like we're dropping one of those balls all the time. And the truth is that the balance isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about recognizing what actually matters most and building habits and mindsets that will help you move through your life with more flow and a bit less pressure as well. So as you know by now, I look into the science behind things and about the subjects that I cover on these sessions, and give practical tips as well alongside some personal experience. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we get closer to mastering that balancing act. And notice that I said get closer to it. It's because perfect balance absolutely doesn't exist. You can have the perfect day with a perfect to-do list that's all, you've got your perfect mindset, everything's all planned out, but it's a fantasy. It doesn't exist. That will never happen. We're made to believe that if we try hard enough, we'll crack the code to having a spotless home, a thriving career, eating the perfect foods all the time, doing loads of exercise, journaling and socializing and meditating and getting 8 hours of sleep at the same time. And in real life, it just doesn't work like that. There'll be days when your business gets, or work gets, the most of you and the house looks like a tornado's gone through it, or there'll be days where you need to just switch off from everything and protect your inner peace, and that's balance too, and it's absolutely okay. Sometimes you will smash your to-do list, and other times your biggest achievement of the day is putting on your bra and finding a clean spoon in the cutlery drawer. That's okay. It all counts. So we often think of scales when we think of work-life balance, and it's actually the wrong way to look at it, because instead of scales, if we think about seesaws, sometimes some things are up and that's where your focus is, and other times it's the other side of the seesaw that's got your focus. And it can be exhausting when we try and think about spinning all of the plates or juggling all of the balls at the same time. If we don't have to spin all those plates or juggle all those balls, we just need to spinning or juggling ones at the right. And it's about knowing what matters most in each given moment and being okay when everything isn't ticking along at 100%, because that's not going to happen. So if you're sitting there thinking, I'm dropping balls left, right and centre, you're not failing. You're human. You are doing your best, and it's in a world where the world expects far too much from us. This perfection thing isn't possible. So take the pressure off yourself, and it's not about being perfectly balanced. It's about learning to shift and adjust and give yourself permission to breathe. So as I've just mentioned about perfect doesn't exist, and this is one of the mindset shifts that you need, and it's key to finding a balance that works for you. Done is better than perfect, because the goal is not progress. The goal is progress, not perfection. Perfectionism will destroy progress. You'll spend hours delaying, procrastinating, avoiding things, perfecting details that don't even matter, and you will miss opportunities. So a couple of examples: a quick 10-minute tidy is better than doing no tidying at all. Your dinner doesn't need to look Instagram perfect. It just needs to be edible, and that's it. It doesn't need to be picture perfect at all. 5 minutes of exercise is better than none. So these are all examples of done is better than perfect. If something is 70% ready, it's good enough to go. perfect often means, when we're striving for that perfection, it often means that nothing ever gets finished. So the next time you find yourself faffing and tweaking and overthinking, stop and ask yourself, is it good enough to move forward? And if the answer is yes, move on, because you can improve on it later. And the 80-20 rule as well, I've mentioned this in the previous sessions. Focus on the actions that get you the biggest results. So 20% of your actions will create 80% of your results. Some examples. At work, 20% of your tasks, so things like client follow-ups or content creation, will actually generate 80% of your income. Not fiddling about with a new logo for 3 hours. That's wasting your time. It's using a lot of your time. It's not going to give you any additional income, really. Another example is keeping the kitchen tidy. Just keeping the surface tidy, the surfaces, at surface level, it looks tidy. It makes your home and your kitchen feel under control and tidy, but you don't need to deep clean your cupboards every day. Another example, 20% of your relationships, friendships, probably give you 80% of your joy and your support. So you should be focusing on those. So next time you plan your day, ask yourself which tasks will have the biggest impact and which tasks you're doing just to fill time or avoid hard tasks that you don't want to do. And when you start spotting these things, that's when you will stop spinning your wheels and start moving forward, and you'll stop being busy and start being effective. So let's talk about the things that you should focus on. And these are your non-negotiables. Your absolute must-haves for your well-being, for your sanity, and for progress as well. So, bit of a truth bomb here. Not everything deserves your time, your energy, or your headspace. And when we try to stop balancing it all and start focusing on the things that really matter, that's when you will create real momentum in your life. So start by asking yourself 3 really powerful questions. So the first one is, what drains me? So what leaves you feeling wiped out? What leaves you feeling frustrated or just a bit meh? This could be tasks, it could be people. Next question, what fuels me? So what lights you up, what recharges you? It could be self-care time, it could be exercise. Again, it could be people too. And the third question is, what actually moves you closer to the life that you want? And to help you answer these questions, I would really recommend a daily energy tracker. It doesn't need to be anything fancy. It can just be jot it down on a piece of paper. So jot down what you do. This is for a few days, what you did and how you felt after that activity. So it could be a Zoom call with a team member or with a friend, and you felt energized after it. It could be scrolling TikTok for an hour. You felt drained and tired after it. Walk in the sun and you felt peaceful after it. So after a few days, you'll start to see patterns and you'll notice what fuels you and what drains you. And it gives you the ability then to start protecting your energy. Last week's episode, we spoke about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And that is that human motivation is based on a series of 5 levels of needs. So the bottom ones, we've got our basic needs. So rest, safety, food and water. And then we've got connection, so your social side of it as well. And once we've met these things, we can start moving towards growth, confidence and achievements and things that we actually want in life. So ask yourself, are you meeting your basic needs? So you might not need another to-do list. You might just need a bit of rest. So you might need a nap, or you might need 5 minutes chatting with a friend or family member to meet that social need. So a personal example, for years, I thought that being constantly available to everyone was the right thing to do. I would answer messages instantly. I'd feel awful if I'd missed a phone call. I would say yes to absolutely everything. But in all honesty, it drained me. Totally drained me. Half of the time it wasn't even appreciated, it was just expected. And now one of my non-negotiables is protected time. So I will ignore my phone, I will put it on silent, I'll put it away from me, and I will not respond. And I'll have no guilt about that at all. My focus in that time could be on self-care. It could be having a bath. It could be an important work task. It could be having a sunbathe in the garden. It could be having a nap. It doesn't matter what it is, but I've got that protected time. And do you know what? The world keeps turning. I feel better, clearer, and more in control. And I've swapped that constant responsiveness for intentional connection with people. So start thinking about your non-negotiables. They don't have to look like anybody else's. They don't need to look like mine. It's not about something that works for somebody else or for me. It's what works for you and what you need. So what supports the version of you that you're becoming, and look at this hierarchy of needs and see whether you're meeting your basic ones. Now, I want you to imagine a wheel or a pizza if you're hungry, and it's divided into sections or slices. Each slice represents a different area of your life. So things like career, family, health, your finances, your fun, personal growth, relationships, anything that feels important to you. It doesn't have to be these ones shown on this wheel. So this is the wheel of life. It is one of the simplest but most powerful coaching tools that are available. And this is the way it works. So you rate each area out of 10. 1 means it's a bit of a disaster right now. 10, it's absolutely thriving. And then when you've done that, you connect the dots and look at your shape. So is your shape smooth and round, like a wheel that would actually go somewhere? Or is it wonky and bumpy and looks more like a lopsided potato that isn't going to go anywhere fast? And if it is, don't panic. Don't panic if it's bumpy. The point here is to get clarity on what areas of your life you're pouring your energy into and where things might be slipping through the cracks. You don't have to try and get each area up to a perfect 10 at all times, because that will never happen. It's not realistic and it's not necessary. Life has different seasons. So sometimes your career is front and center, and other times it's your health, other times it's relationships. There are weeks where your social life will be thriving, but there's a laundry pile the size of a mountain. That's okay. Absolutely fine. That's balance. And not everything needs to shine all at the same time. So the science behind this is goal setting theory. So you're more likely to succeed when you focus on a few key areas at a time. So rather than doing everything at once and spreading ourselves too thinly, diluting our focus and just spinning our wheels, we're getting intentional. So we're looking at this wheel, seeing the areas that we want to improve and focus on. And then that's where the magic's going to happen, in those areas. So personal example, I did this not long ago, this wheel, and I realised that business was going fine. Business was going great, but I was neglecting the fun and the social side of things. My fun score was about 2, and that was probably generous. So I made a point of planning fun and social things into my diary. It's just about being me and not being business me. So this weekend, for example, I'm going away with my best friend, and I would never have planned things like that into my diary. I would have made myself too busy with other things, with work or with business and career. But what it's done is it's changed everything for me, that I'm making that time for the fun and the friendship side of things. It's lifted my energy. So business is improving because I'm not running on empty all the time. So give it a try and rate your areas of your life and look what stands out to you, where you want to shift your focus to. And remember, it's not about chasing perfection at all. It's about choosing where you put that focus. You don't need a complete overhaul on all of these different sections. You just need a little bit of clarity and a few small shifts to get your wheels rolling a little bit smoother. We spend a lot of time managing our time. So calendars, to-do lists, planners, timers, but we forget to manage our energy. We can have the most perfectly structured day. We've got a colour-coded diary. Everything is scheduled. But if you've got zero energy, then none of that matters, because you'll still feel drained, you'll still be snappy, you'll still be unproductive. Time and energy are not the same thing. Energy is your real currency, and you might have time booked out, but how much are you showing up for with actual presence and intention? I'm not talking about feeling tired or awake. According to Tony Schwartz and the Energy Project, there are 4 types of energy. You've got your physical energy, which is obvious. It's your sleep, your movement, your nutrition. You've got your emotional energy. Now, emotional energy is how you feel in your body and your interactions with other people. Your mental energy, I've done that the wrong way around. Your mental energy is your ability to focus, to think clearly and to make decisions. And then you've got your spiritual energy as well. Now, this doesn't have to be religious. It is your sense of purpose, its meaning, its connection to something bigger than just ticking boxes. If one of these is running low, it drags the others down with it. So it's not about how much time you work. It's about having an ability to renew this energy between tasks. So athletes, for example, between sprints, they don't just keep running until they collapse. They recover so that they can come back stronger. So there's some practical ways that you can manage this energy. And like I say, it's not about doing less. It's about doing things smarter. So an example is to start your day with a power hour, or a power 30 minutes, or a power 15 minutes. Something that fuels you. I don't mean you need to do a 5 a.m. boot camp or go to the top of a mountain to do yoga every morning. It can be coffee and listening to a podcast. It could be writing in a gratitude journal. It could be yoga, but don't need to go to the top of a mountain. It could be a dog walk. It's just that moment of quiet before the chaos, and it's something that fills your cup for the day. We've also got the Pomodoro technique as well. I've mentioned this in a previous episode. And that is 25 minutes of focused work or effort and then 5 minutes break. This really helps to manage your energy, because you're getting that break, and it is amazing how much more you get done in that 25 minutes when your brain knows that it's going to get a bit of a breather. And another one is to schedule white space. And this is literally putting empty blocks in your calendar. And it's not an empty block for you to fill with loads of other stuff. It's like a buffer zone. So it gives you time to reset, time to breathe, time to think, time to deal with something that's come up. If you plan all of your time back to back, you've got no space to breathe in between things or deal with something that is unexpected. So it leads to a crash. So a personal example from me, I used to have my days stacked, like full stacked, back-to-back calls all day, every day until late, messages flying in, juggling a million different tabs in my brain, juggling a million different tabs on the computer. And I was doing all of the stuff, and I was technically getting stuff done, but I completely felt drained all the time. And I've started building in that guilt-free downtime. I'm not sitting there scrolling or half working while I'm pretending to rest. I'm having real breaks. I'm having a coffee and staring into space, not doing any work. Or I'm doing mindless tasks like organising stock, giving my brain a bit of a moment to breathe. I'll come back focused, I'll come back less snappy, and more in control of the day, instead of the day controlling me, just by building in that little bit of guilt-free downtime within my work days. One of the biggest balance busters out there is saying yes when we actually mean absolutely no. And you don't want to let people down because we feel guilty, because we think I could squeeze it in. But before we know it, our calendar is then cram-packed, full of everybody else's priorities and not our own, and we are overcommitting. The science behind it, psychologists actually call it decision fatigue. The more choices that we make in a day, the harder it becomes to make good ones. Setting clear boundaries can reduce your mental clutter. It can leave space for what actually matters. So if saying no feels awkward, try making a little no menu. You can either write it down or keep it in your head. It's just a few go-to lines that you can pull out when you need them. So it could be something like, I'd love to help you, but I'm already fully booked this week. Or it's not something that I can commit to at the moment. Or can I think about it and get back to you? Because that one buys you a little bit of space and time. Or I can't stay late at work tonight, but I can prioritise it first thing tomorrow. So it's saying no, and it doesn't make you rude, it makes you clear. And clear is kind to you and to everyone else around you as well. So don't fill your diaries and your schedules and plans with other people's priorities. When people think about balance, we often picture a week-long holiday or a spa day or disappearing into a retreat in the mountains. But real balance, it comes from little micro moments, tiny little micro moments. These are the things that get you through the chaos of life. So it could be taking a few deep breaths while the kettle's boiling. It could be laughing at something daft that the dog does. It could be standing up and having a good stretch after you've been hunched over the computer for hours. It could be playing your favourite song when you're doing your tidying up. It could be anything. All these little pauses may seem really small and insignificant, but they add up. They help to reset your energy and actually boost your well-being. They're like little top-ups for your soul throughout the day, and there's actually a name for them, and they are called glimmers. Glimmers are the opposite of triggers, and instead of setting off stress, they actually spark calm or joy or connection. The more you notice the glimmers, the more your brain will start rewiring itself to look for them. Your brain will literally become better at finding the good things. So for me, my micro moments are cuddling one of the dog sit dogs before I start the day, or switching to a different room for work to change the vibe, or putting my phone onto do not disturb and having that protected time and enjoying a moment of silence. And a new one today is turning my watch onto do not disturb, because that thing buzzes and you just kind of, oh, I'll just have a look. Oh, I'll just have a look. And you don't get that moment of silence because you're constantly contactable. So think about what your glimmers are. What are the little things that ground you or give you a little bit of joy? And it doesn't have to be big to be powerful. Sometimes just a couple of calm minutes is enough. Life will get messy, and it's not a maybe, that is a when. So the trick isn't to try and eliminate this chaos. It's about having something to reach for when chaos does show up and when balance isn't quite there. So this is where your personal balance toolkit comes in. It's a collection of habits or tools that help you to rebalance when things feel off. So it's a bit like an emotional first aid kit. So ask yourself things like, what calms you down when you're feeling overwhelmed? Or what re-energizes you when you're flat? What habits help you feel like you again? So I have got some examples. A favourite playlist that shifts your mood instantly, that gets you dancing around the kitchen like this fella here. It could be a journaling session. It could be a venting buddy that you trust. It could be a digital detox hour that you're not on your phones, you're not on socials. It could be a candle or a cozy corner where you read your book. It could be breathing techniques or affirmations. It could be saying no and not explaining yourself. That's a really big one. It could be rewatching your favourite film. It could be focusing on your list of non-negotiables. It's your toolkit. It's not about what's trending or what somebody else does. It's what works for you. So mastering the balance key takeaways then. Perfect balance doesn't exist, and it's important to remember that. It's about doing what matters most, not trying to do everything at the same time. Focus on your non-negotiables. So that energy tracker challenge that I spoke about, each day for the next few days, just jot down what you did and how it made you feel, whether it's energized, drained, neutral, and the time of day as well. After 3 or 4 days, you'll start to notice patterns. So you'll notice what's giving you energy or stealing your energy, and what you can do more or less of. Get clarity on where you're pouring your energy. So that wheel of life check-in. Rate each area of your life out of 10, join the dots and see if you've got a wheel or a potato. And where can you focus your energy to improve that wheel? Energy is your real currency, not time. So protect your energy and start the day with something that fuels you and fills you with joy. The power of saying no. With this, I would really love you to write down some go-to phrases for saying no or setting boundaries. Try and use one of those this week. So find yourself some phrases that you're going to use. Notice your magical micro moments. Find some glimmers every day, tiny little moments of joy, calm, or collection, and really notice them. The more you notice them, the more you'll start noticing them. And build your personal balance toolkit. So find habits that help you feel like you again. You can do anything, but not everything. Focus on aligned action and protect your energy and create a life that feels like yours, not one that just looks good on paper, but actually leaves you depleted and drained. Balance isn't a destination. It's not one day you're not going to wake up and go, yes, I've achieved perfect balance. That's it, I'm sorted now. It's fluid and it shifts as life shifts as well. So keep asking yourself, what do I need today? What matters most right now? So that wheel of life isn't stuck like that. You can do that wheel of life every few weeks and just look at what areas you want to focus on right now. Next week's session is all about goal setting that works. So it's not the boring kind of goals that you'll set and you'll forget about after a week. I'm talking about real get it done goals. And if you're ready to start writing, actually start achieving things, then you really don't want to miss this session. So that is the 23rd of July, 7:30 p.m. on Zoom, and it will be uploaded to YouTube the following day. Any questions, as always, here is my email address, my Facebook profile, and the Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Drop me a like and a comment on there. And if you haven't already, then head over to my new website and grab your free ebook, Mastering Your Mindset and Unlocking Your Confidence. It is still under construction. Not everything is perfect on there, but as I've said, done is better than perfect, and it can keep being improved. So it's launched. And finally, it's just time to say thank you so much for joining me. I hope the session has been useful. And any questions, please feel free to reach out. Bye for now. Bye-bye.